Shalom Uvracha. The Gemara in Meseches Bava Metzia Daf Lamed tells us that Lecharva Yerushalayim. Why was Jerusalem destroyed? Ela she'emidu divreim al din Torah. The reason why Jerusalem was destroyed was because the people, or the Dayanim, the Rabbanim, they ensured that people did din Torah. And the Gemara asks, what's wrong with that? Should we be doing some other din, some din adam gushi, some set of laws that derives from Avodah Zarah? Says the Gemara, no. The idea is that they did the din Torah. They did the letter of the law. But they didn't do lifnim mishuras hadin. They didn't go beyond the letter of the law. So I have a question. If that's the problem, that people didn't go beyond the letter of the law, then let the original statement say that the reason why Jerusalem was destroyed was because people didn't do lifnim mishuras hadin. People didn't go beyond the letter of the law. Why make a statement that's so provocative, that's so wondrous? The reason why Jerusalem was destroyed was because people did the letter of the law. Why so provocative? And I think the answer is that there's an inherent tension between a focus on the letter of the law and between internalizing the meaning, the message, the value, the will of Hashem and the will of the Torah that's latent within the law. When we place an overzealous focus on the letter, meaning on the minutiae of the halacha of the law, then sometimes we're able to forget, to neglect the value, the will, the overarching idea that's reflected within the halacha. And that's exactly what happened at the time of Churban Abayis. The Gemara Meseches Yoma teaches us that in Bais Sheni, the second temple, why was it destroyed? The Gemara says, you know what? They had Torah, they had mitzvahs, and they had chesed, gmilas chasadim. It sounds like a model society. People had Torah, people had mitzvot, and people were helping one another. When there was a birth, people cooked for the family. When there was somebody poor, they were taken care of. They had chesed. But you know what? They had sinas chinam. They had baseless hatred. How can there be all this kindness, all this help, while at the same time there's baseless hatred? The answer is so simple. Because they were doing chesed, but they were doing it as a mitzvah. I have an obligation, a narrow obligation. Somebody's poor, you have to give him tzedakah. Somebody's needy, you have to do the chesed. You have to do the kindness. But it was done as a compliance in the narrow scope with the law, but without internalizing what does God want from us in this law. What does the Torah want? And the answer is, He wants Ava. Ve'havta l'reacha kamocha. That's the great principle of the Torah, that we should love one another, that we should live with one another in friendship and in peace and with love and with harmony. That's what the Torah wants. So in Bais Sheni, they had chesed on the one hand, but they had hatred on the other. They had the din on the one hand, but they didn't have the lifnim mishuras hadin. They didn't go beyond the letter of the law to the sphere that there is no law over here specifically, but there's a value, there's a way of life that the Torah wants us to internalize. And today it seems that this is exactly where we're going wrong on all sides, both on the more religious side and also on the less religious side within the state of Israel. The wars of the Jews are being fought by the extremists who only see the letter of the law. They only see the minutiae. They only see, oh, we're not performing exactly this the way it should be, or exactly this the way it should be. Says the Netziv, those tzaddikim who say this is how it has to be, my way or no way, it's only this way, and I can't tolerate, and I can't reach compromise with any other way, says the Netziv, HaKadosh Baruch Hu can't stand, in his words, can't stand such tzaddikim. We have to know what the letter of the law is, but we have to internalize the values that the law teaches us. And those values are values that the Torah demands of us. Like the pasuk in Micha says, Don't bring me thousands of offerings, which is the letter of the law, but understand what's behind it. Ki im asois mishpat, justice, avas chesed, kindness, atnei aleches im Elokecha, walking with Hashem in modesty. Those values are so missing from today, from our society today, because we allow those who are at the extremes to define the social structure and to define the issues over which we are at war, Chalila, with one another. If only we internalize the value of the Torah, the derachei darchei noyam, that beam through the mitzvahs themselves, of course to do the shuras hadin, but not to lose sight of the lifnim mishuras hadin, of the framing, of the underlying will, the will of Hashem and the will of the Torah. And through that, and what day to reflect on this more than Tisha B'Av, the national day of mourning, when we mourn the temple and we try to learn from our previous mistakes and to be able to go forward, both as individuals and families, of course, but also as a nation, also as a public, in a way that will bring us forwards, Be'ezras Hashem, to the final redemption, to the final Geula Shlema, which will only come when we'll be able to rectify that which still needs rectification. We should have a wonderful Shabbos and the Geula Shlema b'mhira v'aminu amin.